Hello yogis, happy Friday. We're going to practice some yoga today. I have my flameless candles set up and I will try to give you a couple side views on things, but because of how my camera is propped, I can't go too wide, so those will be minimal. If you have been instructed by your physician to not participate in yoga or physical exercise, I would refrain from doing today's practice. If you're ready to follow me, put on whatever music makes you feel calm. And we're going to start in the middle of our mat in mountain pose, Tadasana. Let's rock our feet back and forth on the mat. Just feel the sensations of your feet rocking forward and back, maybe rocking side to side. Let's try to even out our weight from right foot to left foot. Lift the arches. Let your arms come by side. Shoulder blades back and together. Breathe in. Breathing out. Breathing in through the belly. Exhale, sigh the shoulders down. Take one more really slow breath. Gesture of gratefulness, Anjali Mudra, hands at heart center. Inhale, allow the arms to lift up overhead. Look up at thumbs. And as you bring your hands back to heart, soften the knees. Take a little dive forward. Now maybe your hands naturally want to stop at your shins or at your toes or the floor. Wherever you are, allow the head to drop. Lifting up halfway, hands on shins, flat back. Forward fold again, touch towards the mat. Bend the knees, hinge up from the hips. I'm going to do one of these half salutations at a side view, but you can stay right where you're at. Let the hands bow to heart, hips move backward, hands towards the ground. Halfway rise, hands to shin. Forward folding, down touch towards the toes. Circle sweep up, soft knees, flat back, and we're going to do one more half salutation, tipping from the hip, down towards the floor. Halfway rise, belly into spine. Forward fold again. Bend the knees, hinge up from the hips, and now let your hands come to the small of your back. Push your elbows to the rear and open up the heart. I'll give a small side view, standing camel. It is a back bend. Some of you asked for back bends. Here's the first one. In breath, lift the heart. And exhale, start to stack the spine nice and straight. Shake everything out. And we will bring our feet about hip width apart, bony area of your hip width apart. One chair, one upright salute, one twist. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sit back into our yogi squat, a chair. Rising upright salute, and let's twist towards the right. Open out the arms, a big hug. Inhale, lifting up, sitting back into our chair. Rising back to the ceiling and twist towards the left. Separate from the waistline. Lifting up, sitting back and down. Rising up and twist. One more time. Our spines need a little bit of a twist. Just make sure you're pulling in the belly as you rotate. Coming back into our chair. Pause. Feel the strength in the legs. When we rise up, we're going to come to cactus elbows. I'd like you to take your right foot back in warrior one, bending the forward knee, lengthening out the back leg, opening the chest, and now coming together, tucking your chin to chest, forearms close. Inhale, step back through the left foot, find warrior one, and press together. Let's try 2 more. Inhale, open. Imagine someone's pulling your elbows behind you, stretching the chest, and come back, feet to the top of the mat. And opening out, squeezing your glutes, and press together, shake everything out. Little neck stretches side to side, roll the wrists, roll out the ankles. Sun salutations. Here's the great news. 0 chaturanga push-ups in today's practice. We are going to do a spinal balance instead of a chaturanga today. I will do a total of 4 salutations in today's class. 2 of them I'm going to face you head on. 2 of them I will show sideways. So I'm going to alternate. You do not have to alternate with me. I'm just doing this so you can see and get a better idea of what your body is doing. So that being said, first one I'm going to do facing you. Next one I might turn, give a side view, turn, give a side view. Then I'll end up back facing the camera and towards my level yogis. So feet directly underneath the hips. Allow the arms to flow up. You've already done a half salutation, so you're familiar. Hinge downward. Halfway rise. Hands to shin, flat back. Forward fold, down a little surrender. Let's step backward through our left toe. Left toe steps back. Right knee is bent. Twist towards the right. Belly is in. Bring this top hand down to the ground and step back into downward facing dog. Your body's like a triangle here. Hips moving up and back. Knees down to the floor. Here's our child's pose, Balasana. Hips back towards the heels. Now, if you're experiencing any knee pain today, maybe you just come part of the way back. Or maybe you like to stack your fists under your forehead. Let's rise up into all fours, hands and knees. We're going to pick one leg, any leg, reach it behind us, and opposite arm is in front. Let's do the same, opposite side of the body. Reaching one leg back, opposite arm forward. And the next round, when I give you a side view, you'll get a better idea of what the lower half of my body is doing right now. Bring the hands back down, knees down, curl 10 toes, downward facing dog, and walk your feet towards the top of the mat. Halfway rise, forward fold. Circle sweep up. So now, ladies, gentlemen, and potentially children, I'm going to turn sideways. I would like you to follow my verbal direction, and I'd like you to stay facing towards your device or TV. So, inhale, arms are up, overhead, soften the knees, tip forward, forward fold. Halfway rise, hands to shin, extend to the back, forward fold down to floor. This time, take your right foot. Where's your right foot? Step it back, long. Notice left knee is bent. You turn your body towards the forward knee and twist. Stacking your shoulders. If your shoulders don't like that, one hand could stay here on your thigh. Top arm is down. Downward facing dog. Soften the knees. You can let your heels pedal down here. And knees to mat. Child's pose. Balasana. Coming up to all fours. Stack your hands right under shoulders. Knees right under hips. Belly on. And one leg is behind. Opposite arm forward. So my hand and foot is a little bit out of frame right now, but that's okay. You get the basic idea of what's happening. And change when ready. Bring your hand and knee back down to the ground. If you're wondering what's a perfect down dog setup, perfect down dog setup is from a plank and then you push your hips back. Soften the knees. Walk your feet up. Halfway rise. Forward fold. Circle sweep up. And hands to heart. All right. My birds are going crazy over here. So I'm going to do these last two facing forward. I think you got the idea from the sideways view. Inhale, lift. Forward fold. Halfway rise. It's okay, mommy's doing yoga. And come down. Let's step our left toe back. Twist towards the right. The first two salutations are usually very slow, and then we speed up from there. Hand down, downward facing dog. Knees to the mat, child's pose. Up to all fours, spinal balance, one leg back, opposite arm forward. If you find that you're very tipsy, you may accidentally be doing the same side. And change sides. Keep your neck long. Coming back into a plank just to reset for down dog, and walk your feet up to hands. This is our final salutation. This is usually where in my in-person classes, everyone gives a little cheer and they're very happy because they only have to do this one more time. Coming down. Halfway rise. Forward folding. And let's see if we can take our right foot to the rear, twist towards the left, and I'm looking pretty much at my little birdie head on here. So, hand down, and downward facing dog. Knees down to the mat, Balasana. Rising to all fours, 2 times spinal balance. Some people call this bird dog. If you're a Pilates or a practicer of bar, you may know this as swimming. Also called swimming. Allow your hands to come back down. Quick plank, downward dog. Walk your feet up. Hands to mid-shin or kneecap. Forward fold. Circling up. Beautiful. Hands to heart. Shake out. That was our flowing portion of yoga. We call that vinyasa flow or power flow. We're going to come into our strength postures next. Fierce pose. Bring your feet together side by side and begin to sit your hips back and down. Let's draw our belly in, shoulders back. If you're dealing with a shoulder issue today, stay in Anjali Mudra. If you're coming fierce with me, reach your biceps up to frame the ears. Squeeze your inner thighs like there was a $100 bill right between the knees and you didn't want it to blow away. Bring your hands back behind you to clasp, lengthen the legs, and bow forward. Forward fold with a little bow. How far overhead can you reach your arms? Allow the arms to sweep down towards the mat, and let's step back through our left toe. Half a lunge stride. Bend the forward knee and square your hips to me. Reach your arms up in warrior one. Now I'd like you to stay here. I'm going to give a quick side view, just in case you're not familiar with some of these postures. I have almost a lunge stride going on. Back of the heel is down, 2 hips forward, belly is in, forward knee bent. Here's our warrior one. We did this in the warm-up, and if you'd like to come to cactus arms again, you absolutely may. Feel the strength in the front of your thigh. Straighten out your forward knee. Bring your arms wide and rotate, chest open. Bring hand down towards shin, floor, or yoga block. Triangle pose. If you would like to do some air guitar, begin to circle this back arm around. And I'll continue to show from a side view in case you need that visualization. Triangle pose. Stretching out our shoulder. If you would like more of a stretch, see if you can bring your hand into your back pocket. Open the heart. Stay where you are. I'm just changing back so I'm in line with my lovely students. Hold, hold for 4, 3, 2, and release. Hands down to the ground. Step the back foot up to the front, 2 feet together. Sink your hips. Lift the heart away from the thighs, and you are back into your Utkatasana, fierce pose chair. Option to stay here, or option to expand. Squeeze the knees together, belly up and in like you're wearing a corset. I'm going to give a side view. Stay where you're at. Bring your hands together behind you. Straighten the legs. Hinge forward. See how far back you can allow the arms to go. Stop when there's pain. Stretch is good. Pain is bad. Stay where you're at. Feet and hands come together. Moment to reset the spine. Take your right foot back in half a lunge stride for warrior one. Forward knee is bent, over ankle, rising up. I won't do a side view this time. You do want to make sure your 2 hips are squared. And if you like the cactus elbow, come right here. If you're missing sports, you could think of this as a football goalpost, and it's all good. Straighten the forward leg, reach the arms out wide, turn the top half of your body, and come down for triangle pose. 2 shoulders stacked. Option, you could play air guitar. You could reverse that air guitar. You could stay put, arm overhead, or you could tuck your hand into back pocket. Staying here for 4, 3, 2, and hands come down. Lift the back heel. Step 2 feet up to the top of the mat. Roll up like a rag doll. I have 4 balance postures for you today. A lot of you did request balance. I'm going to move more towards the middle of the mat. Hopefully you can see a little better there. First posture, tree pose. Shift all your weight to the left foot. Create a soft knee. The right toe turns out. Option, low tree, medium tree, or high tree. A lot of times people tend to go to the inside of their knee. And if you're not putting a lot of pressure there and your arch is on the knee, you can get away with that. But I would really rather if you came either above or just below the knee. Hands at heart. Focus on one unmoving spot. If you would like to stay here, you may. If you would like to advance the practice, taking your right heel behind you in what I call flamingo. Or you think of it standing like a stork. Posture number 2, flamingo, will move into pose of the dancer. If you're a person that has a hard time grabbing your foot, you may want to stay here. If you have the ability to grab your ankle behind you, grab ankle, knee close to knee, bicep up to ear, soften standing knee, and just incline your heart forward. If you would like to come into posture number 4, standing bow, we hinge forward, kick our foot overhead, and get a nice lift. Releasing, letting go. Changing sides. Option low tree, medium, or high. Breathing in, feel the belly expand. Breathe out, feel the shoulders relax. Option, flamingo. If you're practicing with your children, kids really like doing flamingo. It's a fun one. If you have the range to get your hand back to grasp your ankle, pose of the dancer. Knee close to knee, chest is lifted. Standing bow, a little more advanced. Soften standing knee. Begin to tip, kick your foot back like you're coming into the splits, one foot overhead. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. The birds want to count this pose down as well. Let's come down to the floor, hands at heart. And take the feet wide of the mat. For today, coming down to the floor, a couple ways we're going to do that. Way number 1, it's called Goddess Pose Squat. Taking your knees wide, sitting low. Your hands may come here, or maybe they stay at heart. Option 2, Malasana, hip opener. Fingertips to the floor. Walk your feet so heels come towards each other, toes apart, and sink your hips down to the floor. Bring elbows to inside of knees, and a little prayer pose, Anjali Mudra, right at heart. I've talked about this in my yoga class before, but in times of fear and anxiety, our hips tend to take up that emotional strain. So hip openers might feel really good for you to do right now. And this is where everybody would moan in my yoga class. Bring the hands down, shoot the hips up, toes straight ahead, and wide-legged forward fold. You can rock back and forth. Let's slip down to our knees. I'm going to give a side view for our next posture. It's called locust, and I might have my head out of the frame for a moment, but it's okay, I'm still watching. We're gonna lay on the belly, reach our arms behind us, squeeze our glutes, squeeze our shoulder blades together, lift kneecaps and thighs, heart and ribs off the floor, locust pose. Tuck your chin. Hold for 3, 2, and down. Child's pose. Rock the hips back and down. I'll join you back at the front. Okay, Miss Sarah, you asked for some glute stuff. So, bridge time. I will again be showing the side view. When we do our bridge pose, I'd like you to scoot your butt as close as you can to your heels, and there's a fist distance between my knees, about. I'm gonna roll down here. And I want to, before I do anything, is squeeze my glutes. That's my butt. So you're gonna lift up your hips a little and then walk your shoulders underneath you. If you can clasp your hands, do it. If you don't have that grip, maybe you like to take your hands under your hips. We're gonna see if we can create a shelf out of our upper body and kick our hips and ribs up to the ceiling. Your hips and ribs are so high that you can see your rib cage within your eyesight. Now your knees, it's like you have a little organic apple between your knees. Give it a squeeze. Notice I'm breathing really big through my belly here. Release your hands, relax your shoulders, roll down the spine, hug the back of your thighs. 2 types of pigeon. Reclining pigeon, what I'm about to show on my back, is the modification for the full pigeon. What do I mean by modification? I mean, if your body does not like it when we get into full pigeon, you come right back here onto your back and you'll repeat this next exercise 1 more time. What I'm going to do here is make a figure 4 out of my legs, ankle cross thigh. I could pull in of my own strength, or I could reach my hands under the bottom supporting leg and give a hug. I like to flex my feet when I do this one. Breathe deep. And if you're still enjoying this side, stay. If you're ready to come with me, figure 4, your legs in the opposite direction. Pull in of own strength, reach through, and hug. If you're still enjoying this, feel free to stay. Otherwise, I'm going to cross at my ankles, rock up, and we're getting ready for cobbler's pose into our pigeon. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. If you're like, man, I can't get my knees down that far, it's okay to be up here. I'm going to move my candles a little bit so you can hopefully see a little better. When I pinwheel my legs, I'm going to pinwheel them so one toe points towards the left, one toe points behind. If your body does not like full pigeon at any point, come back to the reclining pigeon I previously showed. If you're coming with me, walk over the top of your shin and knee and toe your rear leg behind you. You want your hips square, meaning you don't want to tilt off this way or have your butt down. You want to be squared off. This one's one of my favorite yoga poses. You may come down to your forearms or your head. As always, if you're liking these stretches, you could stay here longer, or you could do your best break dancer move. Hip down, swing it around. Let's do the same thing other side. Walking over the top, knee and toe, rear leg behind you. Option to stay high up, hip square, medium depth, or full depth. When you're ready to come out of the pose, walk your hip back down to the floor. Extend your legs to me. People tell me all the time, I hear it almost every single day as a yoga teacher, I can't do yoga because I can't touch my toes. And I don't care if you can touch your toes. If you can touch the mat, if you can touch your knees, shins, toes or beyond, that is just something that comes with practice and body structure. So wherever your hamstrings and low back take you today is okay. Let's sit up tall, bring the arms high, and reach forward as far as you comfortably can. Now, if you start to feel pain, that means back off. But we're looking for maybe a 6 out of 10 stretch effort. What I love about yoga is it's for everyone, everybody. If you ever need to use props and you're at your home, you can use a little pillow to sit up on instead of a yoga block. Instead of a yoga strap, you could use your husband's necktie, you could use your bathrobe belt, anything that you have handy. I'm going to conclude our practice. If you would like to stay in your yoga practice, I invite you to lay down on your mat, find a comfortable position, and do your savasana, your final relaxation. If you're ready to still continue on and about your day, I'm going to end with our typical yoga salutation, which is namaste, means the light in me sees and respects the light in you. I say to you, namaste.